Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and it is happening yet again. Deja vu, Starfield leaks en masse, tons of screenshots to go over. On top of that, we have new information on what's happening at E3 between Xbox and Bethesda. So all of that is occurring right now. And of course, with Mr. Maddie Plays 2.0 just launching, I promised you the highest quality content of all time. So check this out. That's right, a webcam in my bedroom with screenshots. Because we are on a major time crunch today. I have to have this video out, I'm looking at the clock right now, in an hour. Thumbnail and all, right? Like, that's gonna be a real challenge. So I gotta get this within a couple of takes, get it all right. I apologize. I know this isn't what I like to do for sure, because I like to have my studio set up with a nice microphone, the lighting, the gameplay back and forth, little edits here and there. This is going to be probably the lowest quality thing I upload on my channel for a while, provided you think my other stuff's quality. I don't know. But anyway, huge Starfield leaks. It's coming from Reddit. It's talking about in-game factions. We're looking at major screenshots, first-person perspective, new logos, and like I said, even updates on E3 and updates on previous Starfield leaks. So a lot to sift through today. Once again, I do apologize for the quality of this video in advance. This was the only way I could get it out this weekend. I think it's important enough to push it out. So here it is right now on Reddit. Starfield time are these in-game factions. You can see a slew of different links leading to photos that we're going to be getting into today. Keywords that you're going to want to pay attention to. SNA, Space Nation Alliance, Axion Energy, TEC, Crete, and Black Fleet. So SNA is a major faction in the game. Axion Energy is a company producing / selling energy, as I think you'd imagine through the name. Crete World Base, the leak station from the 2018 / 2020 build. That's the one that we talked about back in September, so you should be pretty familiar with that leak if you've been tracking Starfield alongside myself. Black Fleet is the title of the leak spaceship, so we're going to be taking a look at that soon. And TEC is a manufacturer of some sorts, which would make sense because we see it on a lot of assets that are a part of buildings. So with that all out of the way, keep those keywords in mind. Here's our first screenshot. So Axion Energy, and you can also see TEC right above it. So I don't know if these two are connected, where maybe TEC owns Axion Energy or vice versa. But this, of course, I think is pretty self-explanatory. We would imagine that Axion Energy would be some type of fuel provider. And I would safely assume that if we're going to be traveling around space, it would be kind of cool if there were some survival mechanics like refueling your ship. And you'd visit like an Axion Energy station or something. Maybe that's a little too speculative to start things off, a little too hot here. But I thought it was pretty interesting. Now, it gets even more interesting later on because you think, oh, just one logo, whatever, new screenshot perspective. But you go right here and, oh my word. I mean, look at that. We see Axion Energy once more. But these are a lot of things that you're going to see littered throughout the environment. There's TEC once more, but like access by authorized lab engineers only. Warning, no A-grab beyond this hatch. Something that you're actually going to see in a future screenshot. Airlock, stand clear, science lab station. You see the entire alphabet here. So this is how they write out everything in the game. They just take from this alphabet and then they pound out the words, of course. So it has its own custom font, as do, I think, most games. But yeah, overall, these are going to be some of the assets you're seeing lying around the space station and overall what they will be using in that setting. So we're actually going to see some of that in action soon here. Right here, we have a screenshot in first person, by the way. This is our first time ever seeing that. We can see Axion right here on, I'm not sure what exactly this is, but we can see that font I was talking about, lab, access corridor. Down here, it says like 70% nitrogen, so there's a tube connected to that. Just a lot of little things to take in here that when we finally get our hands on the game probably won't matter. TEC, once again, I said this is something you're going to see on a lot of assets like doors, sides of buildings. But what's interesting is this is Axion Energy alongside the blue banner here. So there seems to be a connection between the two. What exactly it is, we're unsure of, but this is the inside of a space station of some kind, it seems. And once again, it's in first person. We have more first person screenshots to go through. So continue to feast. But before that, we have a helmet. This is new and a good look at maybe how some of the armor is going to look, because if we go back to this first screenshot here, we can see it's the typical white spacesuit, the kind of probably the starter outfit. Meanwhile, when we go back to this here, this is completely different. And we don't know if this is like a helmet from an enemy, maybe. I do apologize. This is blurry. This was just the cleanest image that was out there. We don't know if it's like an enemy helmet or if we can actually like change our armor and stuff. I don't want to assume too hard here. But still, you can kind of get a vibe for the type of sci-fi they're going for with Starfield. A little more crunchy, I think would be the best way to put it. And I kind of like that. But of course, we still have to wait and see with the game. But I thought this was one of the biggest takeaways right here, was just kind of how the armor is going to look in the game. I mean, this looks like something that you'd mount a GoPro on or some shit, but still, happy to see more leaks. Moving on, here we have, this was like the first one I saw. This is just a raw gameplay screenshot, man. This is high quality. This was one, I saw people saying, like, it just looks like Fallout 4 in space. And you can definitely see the creation engine, and that's probably why people are saying it for sure. But I do think it's an unfair call immediately to say this is Fallout 4 in space. We do not know the mechanics of this game. We do not know how it's going to play, how it's going to feel, how exploration is going to work, and those are major factors in Fallout 4 that can separate Starfield from it. But it definitely does look like, as I've said since September, it's got the creation engine stink. You can see TEC once again, Axion Energy. Nothing updated with the HUD, just a good clean look at everything. This is pretty wild. Like I said, I've never really seen a Bethesda Game Studios game have this many leaks consistently for months. I mean, I guess there must have been something connected to that server leak that we're going to have an update on later. There has to be something between those two where these images have just been floating around. People have them and they continue to leak them. I don't think it really has anything to do with a direct connection to E3 prep. Like, these are all for E3. This is definitely an older build from what I'm reading online. Last first person screenshot. See, I told you no Agrav beyond this hatch. Watch your steps. So Agrav, pretty big takeaway there, because we're going to be talking about gravity in just a little bit, thanks to Skullsy, a source that I personally trust. It's up to you how much you want to trust him. But you can see this little dot here in the middle. Go away. I don't need to get a free-to-play game. Scavengers, who cares? But yeah, you can see it's a interesting first-person screenshot, but now we get a look at what's called Black Fleet. This is the model in what looked to be something that was kind of creative, but this looks like it in-game. And very much a mechanical beast. The reason I use that word is it's kind of funny how we saw potentially on Bethesda Net that there will be spaceship crafting, because these just tubes look like they don't belong. Just they've been put on like a bunch of Legos. When, you know, remember when you were a kid and you throw a bunch of Legos all together and they just come out to this monstrosity. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. If anyone thinks this looks cool, they're lying to themselves, because it does not look cool. But if you've customized it and these all have different purposes in the game, it's a little bit cooler. But there's a difference here. This looks in-game here on the right. Just for some Skullsy tweets, because the reason I trust Skullsy is back when the September leak happened, people were like, you don't have a source, and he's like, I do have a source, and he posted a brand new screenshot that no one had access to. So he is connected to someone, so feel free to take it with a grain of salt, but still, I think listening to what he has to say is worthwhile. I just want to say the new leaks you will be seeing today and in the immediate future will most likely be from the early 2018 build, same as before. That is all I will say. Seems that was not the case, because he also said here's another leak. While I won't be 100% coming out and confirming spacewalking will be in the game, you do have a gravity meter on your HUD, and ships do have exits and entrances specifically for when there is high gravity or low gravity. Are you all ready to float around? So a good example of something like this is Prey. Prey had spacewalking, where you could just float around in like zero gravity areas, and it was awesome. So to imagine that in a Bethesda Game Studios game is so exciting, because one of the things they just get so well, even in their, you know, most horrid launch 76, was exploration. Exploration was enjoyable. Like the point A to point B is really well done by Bethesda Game Studios. So to know there's going to be a little bit of a change to that with potentially spacewalking, I think makes a lot of sense. Between that and flying around, it can really change how all of that feels. And as someone who loves the on-foot exploration, I'm excited for something new. So I promised updates on old leaks. If you were paying attention to those old leaks, you'll know that right here, this watch probably looks very familiar to you. That's because this is a part of that concept art leak, and now people are digging up the artists who did it. So this comes from Watch Sketch. And here's like a full shot of the entire work from Watch Sketch. And it is pretty similar to what's happening here with Starfield. Same thing with Mike Phillips. This is a post from 2019. This was at the bottom left corner of the Starfield leak we saw just a number of days ago. I mean, some are wondering, is this an elaborate hoax of some kind? And I never want to say never, but it's possible that this is pre-production work. Bethesda contracted these people. It is a sci-fi space station. We can at least, if this ends up being connected to Starfield, this could be, a space station. We now know that. But Todd Howard said 2013, 2014 was when we got pre-production rolling for Starfield. It's been in full development since Fallout 4 ended in August of 2016. So here we are with a image, pardon me, from 2013. We can see right here Rick RD, and these are the same spaceships that were that were on the concept art leak as well. The difference was that they were edited together, well put into one, and the kicker is, no matter what, they were on Bethesda's own website. And that's why it's hard to debunk all this stuff, because yes, these are here. 2013, this says 2019. The Watch Sketches, I don't really see a date for it, but you can see these similarities for sure. I get it, right? Like, it's, I don't want to say, oh, it's confirmed, but man, what a weird set of leaks. When it comes from Bethesda themselves, that's the issue, right? It came from their own website. Everything matched up. The HTML code matched up. The images, CTF assets, CDN, all of that just matched up. The same folder as images that were publicly available for Starfield when you inspected the elements. It's a fascinating look, man. It's a real fascinating look. So yeah, this is the latest on Starfield. All of its leaks, they're really just insane right now. They are completely out of control. So that's what I got for you on that. Last but not least, Jeff Grubb has an update for us on what's happening at E3. I've actually personally not heard this, so this is news to me and I think many others out there. So let's go ahead, roll Jeff's clip, and then we'll talk a little bit about E3.
And how their E3 showcase will be kind of separate, but under the same umbrella. And I think in recent weeks, they've decided to make it even closer and make it feel like more of like one big show. I think there's still going to be a lot of planning that happens slightly separately, but when they present it to the public, I think it's going to feel more like, here is the Xbox E3 showcase, and here's the Xbox segment, here's the Bethesda segment, but they're sort of just going to go one then the other really quickly, and it's going to feel like this is the, like, it's going to probably have the same sort of theming, and it's going to feel all kind of as one big thing. That's not too different from what I've said in the past, but I do think that they're leaning more toward presenting this as one giant showcase instead of two showcases that sort of like have a break in the middle. Like, there probably won't be a break at all anymore.
So I think this sounds great, that they're actually going to connect the two in a more intimate way. Would that be the right way to put it? When it comes to E3, I think the most exciting thing is just having it all happening and continuous. And when they split things up and there's breaks in between, especially for me who likes to live stream all of these, I will selfishly say, like, music to my ears that I don't have to plan 2 specific times to go live at. This is just really great overall, I think, for Bethesda, for Xbox. And what I anticipate is, like, you'll see a Starfield trailer at Xbox's E3, and then maybe Todd Howard hits the stage for like 20 minutes later on the show. What's interesting is the more connected they become, what is the closing thing for Xbox and Bethesda? Is it Starfield? Is it Halo Infinite? Because I was like, Halo Infinite's a good candidate to start things off. Starfield's a good candidate to end things on. But I also understand that if it's Xbox's show, now Bethesda's in the mix there. Do they end it with Halo? Because that's Xbox's thing, who ultimately owns Bethesda. It's going to be very telling how E3 plays out this year. But anyway, I hope all of you found this information worthwhile, especially given the quality of the video. Once again, I do apologize. I'm not proud of this. I don't like to do it this way, but it was the only way I can make sure I have this out within an hour. So I hope you all understand. Let me know what you're thinking of the Starfield leaks in the comments down below. Once I get home, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing everyone's response to them, as well as this video. But until then, please take good care of yourselves. Thank you to all the patrons, all the members who are supporting the content here. Even when it's not the highest quality, y'all are still supporting. I appreciate that. And I'll talk with all of you very soon, all right? Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.